Welcome to Vocabulary, a From the Start reading project. Building the semantic network during the literacy block in 5 minutes or less. The incredible thing about vocabulary instruction is the opportunity to engage with the very basic human need to name, describe, own, understand, and share our lived experiences by communicating them to one another through language. Our language has the potential to grow with every interaction. Educator and social activist Paulo Freire is credited for his work with adult literacy in Brazil during the 1950s. To reach his students, Freire found it necessary to help them break down barriers of doubt and the notion that there was no hope of them learning at that late point in their lives. Freire began with what now would be considered vocabulary instruction. He famously pointed out, "That which is unnamed is invisible. A teacher's job is to name the world." Freire goes on to say, unless something is named for us, we might not know it exists. We might not be aware of it. This is the great gift a teacher can bestow onto a student, making the invisible visible. Feelings, needs, requests, social interactions. Those who tap into the power of vocabulary are intrigued by the nuances of a word, the increasing specificity of academic language, or the satisfying moment of describing an internal feeling that has been elusive to that point. Researcher Isabel Beck, author of Bringing Words to Life, describes that the development of these facets of word learning cannot just rely on students spontaneously engaging with words on their own, as it simply will not occur in many cases. Rather, these facets must be the direct focus of instructional conditions. It has been our experience, she continues, that students become interested and enthusiastic about words when instruction is rich and lively. The science of language learning, drawn from fields such as linguistics and neurology, affords a basic understanding of how the brain is capable of formulating language and increasing its capacity for known words. Language growth from birth through early childhood follows a predictable developmental pattern. Once a child enters formal schooling, their brains are primed for the task of becoming metalinguistic, or in simpler terms, consciously aware of their language and its functional uses. Adding to the semantic network or known meanings and their reference is the work of a dynamic classroom environment, coupled with the curious mind of a child who is absorbing the language of learning. When a student's attention is drawn to new information in an encounter which requires using a new term, it may take just one or two repetitions of the word to become their own. Likely, it will take as many as 12 or more repetitions to ensure ownership of the new word and its meaning. Though a teacher will not be able to teach every word a student may need to know, they will, through intentional daily routines and practices, be able to provide a stimulating, language-rich environment. A teacher will be able to select a number of target words for learning, not just in its breadth, but to a level of depth, relying on engaging activities prompting recall, use, and generalization of the term. As a student's vocabulary improves, so will their reading comprehension and writing abilities. During early instruction, much of vocabulary learning will be through oral language conventions such as conversation, dialogic read-alouds, modeling artifacts, semantic analysis, and questioning related to content. As we become readers, we eventually are exposed to more vocabulary through reading than any other mode of communication. Coming up in the module, watch Kathy Doyle, a second grade teacher, introduce the vocabulary routine list group label. Consider the way that targeting select words can increase the breadth and depth of a student's vocabulary knowledge. Be mindful of the advantage and support that both implicit and explicit instruction can offer.